So hello guys, and in today's video I am going to be showing you guys how I make a wig for a customer. This is some kinky straight hair. She ordered 3 bundles in the closure. I wasn't too fond of this hair when I first got it from my vendor, but it's not on my website. Once you guys see the full video, please let me know if you guys would want this hair. But once I made the wig, I really fell in love with the hair texture. It's really nice. So you will need the hair, a blockhead. I love blockheads. Like I said, the hair, of course. You will also, let me show you the closure. Look at that. My vendor makes the closures really nice. I really like how my vendor makes my closures. Some thread, nylon, a curved needle, some scissors, some clips, and of course your cap. So right here I am showing you guys that the cap is a little big, so I am just folding the cap really flat where it is bulking out at. I'm going to pin that, like the corners of where I just folded, and I'm going to show you guys how to sew that down so you guys can see that the cap fits better with the folds. I'm going to pin my closure just to have it already on the wig cap and the wig block already secured. I'm lining it up like slightly in front of the what am I trying to say, y'all? In front of the cap. I'm sorry. So right here I am just showing you guys. I didn't show you the beginning, but it's literally from corner to corner. So I started on the corner and I'm just looping the thread right at the tip of where I first folded the hair. Folded the cap. So I'm sewing it right at the edge so it won't be like a flap or anything. And this is gonna lay pretty flat, as you guys can see. So I'm just putting the needle through that cap, all 3 or 4 layers, because it's folded, so you have to put it through all of the layers of the cap. And I'm just doing that from one end to the other with my pins, helping me by holding it. I really like my stuff to be really neat, and of course with customers, like I don't play no games. So I am finishing up this part of the sewing. You guys can see that it looks really good. And now I am just braiding the closure, of course, to get that hair out the way so I can sew down the closure pretty flat. Well, really flat actually. See that? It looks so good. I'm very precise when it comes to my customers and their units. You guys can see I have 3 pins in the back, and you can see I have started that one side. Like I said, very precise, very neat, very, kind of close together. And then here is where I'm going to start in the back. That piece was hanging out on the weft. So I just cut that off, and then you're gonna see that it gets so much flatter. See that nothing is hanging off, like that little piece of hair wasn't needed, so I could cut it off. So I still use my T-pins. Sometimes I don't use T-pins for my units, but sometimes I still do. And you guys know I make a lot of units now with the sewing machine, so But this unit, I wanted to make by hand, because if you can't make a wig by hand, mm, most of the time you won't be able to make a wig on a sewing machine. So get but you can make a wig with your bare hands perfect. Okay, so especially with a nice perfect size blockhead, girl. So I made my knot. I made a few threaded needles. I made the knot on the end of the thread. So I just pull it all the way through. I don't go all the way through the cap, because you will mess up the elasticity of being able to stretch the cap out, because you're going to be going through the stretchable band. But it is a layer, a soft layer over the band, well, that the band is in, that you can just go through those little holes. I'm probably botching this explanation, but yeah, I don't need to do so much. So I'm just going through that first layer of fabric, and I'm gonna do the loop and pull method. So I'm gonna go through the cap again, go around the weft. My first, like in the beginning of the weft, I go through the weft to secure the end of the weft. I go through it maybe 2 or 3 times, and then I start to just go around the weft, because you want your weft to last as long as possible. And going through the weft, you are messing up um, the thread that's going through the weft that the vendor makes. So I'm just gonna start going around the weft. So I'm just doing the loop and pull method, just looping it around, making me to go between the 2 threads, and pulling it through. I'm making my thread very close together, because I try to make it, when I do wigs by hand, make it still as close together, because I noticed that sometimes the wigs, my handmade wigs, were lasting a little bit, maybe not as long. They was, of course they were good, but I needed to make my thread a little closer together, like how the sewing machine makes the thread. If you notice, the sewing machine makes the threads very close together. So why not do that when you hand making a wig? So I do that repeatedly, and I'm cutting the wefts on this hair, because these wefts are thick, which I love. And so I just measure and cut, so the wig can be as flat as possible. I don't cut all the time my wefts, but it depends on the client. So for this particular client, my decision was to cut the wefts, and at the end, I loved how it looked. And also my client loved it, because I dropped the wig off, I think the next day after I made the wig. So you guys are just gonna see me do this repeatedly. You just measure from end to end of the cap, making sure you are following the curvature of the blockhead, which is also a mimic of your own hair. So when I get to the end of the weft, like I was telling you guys, I go through it like 2 or 3 times, but I go with the sewing machine, I go forward with the sewing machine, and then I go backwards, and then I go forward again, and then I'm done securing the end of the weft on the cap. And I do the same thing with my hand. I go forward, and then I come back, and then I'm done. I cut the thread. I hope I'm making sense. If I'm not making sense, y'all, leave me a question down below, and uh I will do a video just on this particular subject. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm about to. I love these little bitty scissors. They are so sharp. Like they cut that weft so good. So I have made my way up the top, y'all. You just continue, like I said, to do that. It's repetitive. Don't get lazy. Don't start like making sewing, making the. Oh my God, what am I? Don't start like, because it's so repetitive. Don't start spreading the thread like the stitching far apart. Still do that stitch close together for every single weft you are cutting and sewing, because I know it's repetitive, it can get tiring, but for these wigs and units to last, you have to continue to do the same thing all the way up to the top and close that gap up and get that last weft right on top um, of that closure. Look at the stitching right there on that closure though. Like, oh my God, it ain't going nowhere. So I didn't want to make this video too long, y'all, so I'm gonna split it up probably into 2 parts or 3 parts. Like, I'm gonna show you guys how I put my closure 2 on a 4x4 closure. So you don't pluck a lot, but I still like the front of the closure to look natural. And as you guys can see, that's a little bit too thick right there. You can get away with it. It can still look cute, but you know I'm a professional, so I gotta like put my professional spin on it. So please stay tuned for part 2 and maybe part 3. I'm gonna try to stick it to 2 parts, but I really want you guys to like. I want to put my own. It's so many videos on how to make wigs, but I know the more my audience grows, the more people just want to see how I make my own personal wigs. So that's why I'm doing this video. Again, like I told you guys, if you guys have questions, please leave them down below.